This is the joke that Rolex has become. I thought these people were waiting at a bus stop. They weren't. They were queuing, about 20 people queuing to get into Rolex because they have no stock. So they have to come back every day hoping that a shipment's going to come through the door and that they are first in the queue, because Japan has a system of first come first served at Rolex. There's no waiting list, officially at least. So you queue and hope that they'll have what you want in stock on any given day, and the odds are that they won't. International joke brand. Yeah, Rolex has become like queuing for bread at a bakery. You get in a queue and you see if they've got your baps in stock. Good afternoon, fellow denizens of the web. An unusual post for me. Rolex, the brand. Rolex, the luxury brand watch that everybody wants. Not everybody, but quite a few people apparently. Following on from the little video I made at the actual shop. I'd read it online on Reddit and other forums, other places. I was doing a lot of research. And okay, here's the thing with Rolex. Demand is far outstripping supply. But it's not demand from people that want to wear them and enjoy them. The demand is coming from people who want to flip them. So the Submariner, the most basic model, with the date in stainless steel, the retail price, the MRRP in Japan for a basic date Submariner is 1.4 million yen. I think that's something like 11,000 American dollars, I'm not sure. But anyway, for the average Joe in Japan, who's on an average wage of say 1,000 yen an hour, which is what it is in Japan, and calculate that to a year, the cost of a Rolex Submariner, the most basic model with date, is over half a year's salary for a regular working stiff in Japan. So it's an expensive item, and most of those people are never ever going to be able to afford to buy one. Maybe they get it on hire purchase or something, they take out a bank loan, I don't know, but who would be desperate enough to want a Rolex that they'd sacrifice half a year's wage, more than half a year's wage? So it's either rich people buying them, and even they're fucked, because what happens is you go to the Rolex branch. This is all over the world apparently, actually, not apparently, actually, it's a worldwide problem. Rolex are not able to keep up with demand. But saying that, it's not helped by the fact that so many people are buying them only so they can immediately flip them. They buy it for MRRP and they take it to a grey shop like Quark. There's a branch of Quark in Kyoto, and I think they've got 21 branches across Japan, quite a few in Tokyo, quite a few in Osaka. Quark will buy it from you for 400,000 to 500,000 yen more than you paid for it, and they'll put it in their display at twice the price, twice the MRRP, the recommended retail price from the manufacturer. That's where most Rolexes are going. Most people are buying them to flip them, and obviously because Rolex can't produce enough, it's hard for them to get one. And there's a rule: if you buy a Submariner, you're not allowed to buy another Submariner within 5 years. You're not even allowed to buy another Rolex within 1 year. They got your ID. So if you yourself go back to a Rolex shop having just bought a Rolex, they won't let you buy another Rolex for a year. And they won't let you buy one of the same, another Submariner, or whatever it is you bought, a Daytona. They won't let you buy another one of the same one for 5 years. That's how they try and control people abusing Rolexes. So the grey shops actually pay people to stand in the fucking queues, because the Japanese system, there's no waiting list, it's supposedly first come first served. So you queue outside the shop, the staff won't tell you when a shipment's due, they will not tell you. You're not even allowed to form a relationship with a member of staff, that's their rules. So you can't get one of them and go, here mate, let me know when a shipment's due in. That will save me queuing up pointlessly day after day. So they queue, hoping they're going to be at the front of the queue and the shipment's just come in the day before, and being the first in the queue they can go, have you got a Submariner for me? And the Japanese staff are supposed to go, yeah, one's come in, finally, it's yours. You're first in the queue. It's for you to have. Of course, it doesn't work like that. I mean, what's to stop a member of staff being given a 50,000 yen on the side by somebody to tell that person, oh, there's a shipment coming in tomorrow, get down to the queue first thing. So today I went to the second Rolex. The first Rolex shop, there was no queue, and it had been open for about 5 minutes. Some couple were just coming out. They let me in, and I said, I'd like to buy a Submariner if it's possible. And I was very sort of lackadaisical, so I'd already read up on all this, I'd already researched it all. I knew they weren't going to have one. And I also knew about how they go out the back to check, even though they know they don't have one. It's just to make it a bit more polite, instead of just going, no, we ain't got any. They pretend to go and look in their safe out back. So sure enough, off she went. She came back about 5 minutes later. I'm sitting on a stool at the counter, and she said, no, sumimasen, arimasen. I said, yeah, as expected. Thank you for looking, and off I went. Went to the second shop, which actually has its door out onto the main street in Kyoto. And what I thought was a queue of people for a bus was actually a queue of people waiting to get into the Rolex store. So that was true, what I'd read. You queue, and it was 30, I think it was 34 degrees this morning, and sweating like a pig, absolutely baking humidity. So I'm like, this queue's flooded through the door as it's opened. I got there bang on opening time. I'd already spoken to the staff who were already outside the front before it opened. And I'm like, what was this? It's like, no, it can't be real. There's actually people queue. So it was 16 people went in through the door. And I filmed it, which you've seen already on the beginning of this video. And I was just going to fuck off. And I thought, no, I've ridden all the way into Kyoto. It's an hour ride on my bike. So on my motorbike. So I thought, fuck it, let's see what happens. So I've gone in, and the queue around the counter, it's a really posh shop, and the staff are dressed immaculately. It's the full luxury brand experience, except it's fucking not. They started giving out tickets printed off a machine with a barcode on them, and they get you to scan the barcode with your QR code reader, and when you press the link, it gives you the option to be notified by SMS, email or phone. So they send you away with your ticket. You've put your option into the program, how you want them to contact you, and you're supposed to fuck off and float around in the sweltering heat until you get a message on your phone saying, yeah, we're ready to deal with you now. And then you go back to the shop to be told what they could have already told you right then and there, which is, no, we haven't got any stock. So after they've done the other 16 people, she's come to me. She's got a translator out. I've got my translator out. And I said, hang on a minute. I said, how long am I going to have to be waiting then? She said, oh, it's going to be a while because you're number 17 in the queue. I said, it might be afternoon. I said, you know what you haven't got in stock. So if I ask you if you've got this particular watch in stock, you can just tell me yes or no right now, can't you? I don't have to go back out into the fucking sauna bath and sweat like a pig, waiting for you to send me a message to say, come back, we can deal with your inquiry now. You can just tell me now. I said, Submariner, arimasu ka? And she went, no, on her translator, and said, we have a variation of different stocks at different times. I said, so no then. And you could clearly tell that she'd been told not to give answers, but she looked at me, she just did an imperceptible shake of her head. And I said, thank you very much. Thank you for not wasting my time. And I fucked off, and I won't be going back. You get given these tickets, you have to scan it with your QR code scanner. It's like going to McDonald's, ordering your fucking meal, and then going down to the other end of the counter with your ticket in your hand to wait for them to cook it for you, and then you can take it upstairs and eat it. Going to Rolex, this supposed luxury brand experience on which you could be spending over half your year's salary if you're a working stiff, but regardless how wealthy you are, you go there. Part of the purchase of this fabulous watch is the brand experience, the luxury brand. Come in, sir, please sit down, can we get you a drink? You know, like when you go to buy a brand new car or bike, they treat you a bit special because you're going to be spending large amounts of wonga. No, here's your McDonald's Happy Meal ticket, fuck off until we send you a message that your meal's ready to collect. Absolutely embarrassing to be anything to do with Rolex. I felt sorry for the staff that they're in a fucking shop that's all doled out. The watches on display have little things saying exhibition purposes only. They've got nothing to sell you. They have to wait for a shipment to come in. What an absolutely deplorable shithouse experience for a supposed luxury brand. Rolex can't keep up with demand. Nothing in place to stop these grey sellers sending their fucking monkeys to go and get swag a watch when possible, so they can take it back to the shop, get their little bit of bunts for doing it, and then it goes straight on the counter in a grey shop for twice the retail price. And it's not even brand new anymore. It's second hand but brand new in box. Not your name on the RFD card. No, that's the person that bought it gets their name on there. So when you buy your brand new Rolex from a grey shop, you've got somebody else's name on the RFD card. Oh! Apparently Rolex are in the process of building a new factory. It's costing them about $1 billion, they say, and it's going to come online next year if they can find enough skilled watchmakers to actually staff it. That's apparently, like, not sure at the moment. So what are they going to be able to do? Double their output from 1 million to 2 million watches a year, because apparently it's between 800,000 and 1.2 million units of all the watches they make per year. If they double that, will that solve the problem? Will all the grey shops go out of business? I guess we'll find out. But yeah, absolute shithouse, embarrassing, humiliating for the staff, experienced, have to be involved in that shonky, sketchy, shady fucking operation. Here's your McDonald's Happy Meal ticket, off you go with your fucking 1.4 million yen or more, depending what you wanted to buy. Come back and queue tomorrow, and then the next day, and then the next day, and pray that a shipment comes in and you're at the front of the queue and you get your watch that you've been trying to get for how long? And the only reason I decided to buy one, mind you, was when I discovered that they double in value the minute you've got it out of the shop. So it's an investment, it's a genuine investment, as long as the supply is more than is outstripped by demand. You can buy a Rolex and wear it for free, and if you decide sometime in the future some emergency happens and you need to cash in, you're going to get at the very least back, with inflation calculated, what you paid for it. In actual fact, at the moment, the market, the way it is you would always get more than you paid for it. You would make a profit on it. So I thought, yeah, it's a no-brainer. Have the money sitting in the bank or have it on my wrist and enjoy it. And my son gets to inherit it when I die, and it's always going to be worth more than you paid for it. It's a no-brainer, isn't it? So I thought, yeah, with all that in consideration, I'm going to get myself a Submariner. I've always loved a Rolex, never had one. Always had a feeling that I'd want one day, and after finding out all the schmeal about them, I thought absolutely no reason not to. So, but having read what I'd read, I knew it wasn't going to be available. I just thought I'd go for the experience, the weird, we don't have any watches to sell you, sorry sir experience, and we're going to give you a McDonald's Happy Meal ticket to boot. Just fucking beyond belief. I mean, what has Rolex come to? It's almost to the point where you can think they're now an embarrassment to even have one on your wrist. If somebody knows the backstory and knows what's going on with Rolex and how shitty the experience has become, you kind of don't want to be tainted with that by having one on your wrist. Someone sees you with a Rolex on your wrist, it's either going to be, oh, that's not a real one, it's a super clone. And let's get into the super clone thing. But it's either going to be, it's probably a super clone, it's probably a knockoff, it's a skanky knockoff. Or they're going to be like, you're not one of those mugs that queued every day outside a Rolex store, grovelling and begging to be able to get what you wanted from them and being treated like a McDonald's customer. You're not one of those mugs, are you? Is that a real one? You'd be embarrassed to admit it. What would you say? No, I'm so wealthy I was able to go to a grey shop and pay twice as much. Then you're an even bigger cunt. What? You went to a grey shop and paid twice the retail price to have a Rolex on your wrist? Are you fucking stupid? No, I'm just very, very wealthy. Yeah, but are you stupid as well? Because only a stupid mug does that and then flaunts it on their wrist. Why would you do that to yourself? There's no way to win. It's either a clone and they're suspecting it's a clone, or you've been a mug and queued up outside a Rolex shop, or you've been an even bigger mug and gone and paid twice retail for it at a grey shop. And yeah, there's clones. I watched a video yesterday, some dealer with 20 years of experience with Rolexes got scammed into buying a super clone. It was so good he did not spot that it was a super clone. That's how good they are. What you do now by buying a super clone is you're paying under $1,000 for one. The quality of the watch is so good that it's worth the $1,000 all day long, and you can't tell it from a real Rolex. The value price of a clone is in the right whack. The price and value of a real Rolex has fucking separated like a rocket going into space. The cost of one now is nowhere in any way commensurate with the actual value of the material object, what it costs to make it, the quality of the parts, etc, etc. That line has departed long, long ago. So there you have it, my Rolex experience. It was absolutely shit, and I feel now that I'd be embarrassed to be seen wearing one. It's no longer a luxury brand experience. It's queuing outside a shop like an absolute fucking wanker, or going somewhere and paying twice retail, which makes you an even bigger wanker. So Rolex, you've blown it, you're fucked. I'm sure people will continue to buy them because there's a lot of idiots in the world. What's that? I coined an expression a few years ago. Those most easily impressed are those least worth impressing. So people that wear Rolexes, who are they impressing? They're not impressing intelligent people, and if people know this shit about them, even less likely. So yeah, that's my Rolex rant over. Hope you enjoyed it, hope you were entertained, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!
Well, that's great. That's just fucking great, man. Now what the fuck are we supposed to do? We're some real pretty shit now, man.
You finished?
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do?
Maybe we could build a fire, sing a couple of songs, huh? Why don't we try that?